Hello. Can everyone hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear.
We'll probably more people join the presentation, and then we'll start. Give it 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, maybe we'll start.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm having a little internet problems here. Thank you for coming today. We're gonna go ahead and start in about 1 minute. It's already 1:31. We're gonna be respectful of everyone's time, and then we're gonna start in 1 minute. Can you hear me at Essex in Gainesville?
Yeah, we can hear you, Laura. Thank you.
Yes, okay. Dan, you can hear me too?
I can hear you.
Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start with introduction. My name is Devora Mikhail. I have been an SGA member for about 4 semesters. I am located, my main campus is at Essex. Fatima?
Hello, everyone. I'm Fatima. This is my second term here at CCBC, and this is my first term as an SGA. I'm mainly based at the Dundalk campus, and I've got here Francis with me.
Yeah, I've also done 2 semesters at CCBC, but this is also my first semester as a part of SGA.
And then we've also got Grace here with us at Essex.
Hi.
Kate and Scott, do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Any SGAs at Kate and Scott?
Sure, yes, of course. Hello, I hope you all heard to me.
Yep.
Hello, I'm Emma. I'm an SGA member, and this is my 3rd semester at CCBC and 2nd semester in the SGA. Seth, would you like to go next?
Hello, my name is Seth. This is my 4th semester at CCBC and my 2nd semester here as an SGA member.
Hello, my name is Bernard. This is my 3rd semester here at CCBC and my 1st semester here in the SGA. Dumont?
Hi, I'm Jamal. This is my 4th semester at CCBC and my 3rd semester as SGA member. Nice to meet you all.
Hey y'all, my name is Dan. I'm the advisor for SGA and Assistant Director of Student Life. Thanks for joining us today. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, I'm the guy who emails people a lot, so it's nice to see you all.
Thank you. Do we have any SGAs joining us virtually?
Yes, hi, my name is Kaya. I'm a cybersecurity major, and I'm mainly on the Catonsville campus.
Hi, my name is Morella. This is my 4th semester at CCBC and 2nd semester in SGA.
Hi, I'm Al, and I'm with SODA, or Students of Occupational Therapy Assistants in Catonsville.
Thank you all. Deborah, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for SGA members for introducing. We're gonna have some time available during the meeting for clubs and orgs to clubs and orgs members to introduce themselves and also let us know which clubs and orgs you guys will be representing. We're gonna go ahead and start with our icebreaker or introduction. Can you? Yes, thank you so much. So we have this quote that is going to be leading to our icebreaker. It's based on motivation and persistence. And it says, success is almost totally dependent upon drive and persistence. The extra energy required to make another effort or try another approach is the secret of winning. So we want to ask you all what motivates you to persist every day regardless of all the hardships standing your way. As a students, faculty members, staffs, we all go through some hardships that or challenge that we have. And what is it, that one thing that keeps you going, that motivates you from not stopping? So for me, for example, I'm gonna go ahead and start. I am an immigrant student, so whenever there's hardship standing my way or whenever I feel like giving up, I remember the sacrifices my parents have made for me to come here and continue my education. So I don't want that sacrifice to go for waste. So it reminds me that I have to keep going no matter what happens. So for me, that is my motivation, my parents and the sacrifices that has been made for me to come here to earn my education. Fatima or Francis, we can start with Essex and then we can go to Catonsville and then virtual.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, I can go ahead and answer this one. What motivates me to be persistent regardless of all the hardships standing in my way? So I would say just knowing at the end that all my hard work will be rewarded, nothing goes to waste. The more work I put in, the more I will be rewarded for it later on in my life. I'm also quite blessed to have the resources that I need to succeed, so I never take this for granted, and I try my best to always, use all the resources around me and work as hard as I can to have a good life at the end. Francis, do you want to go next?
What motivates me to persist? Me personally, I don't like to rely too much on motivation per se. I like to make circumstances whereby I act in certain ways that I want to. I think one thing that can demotivate people is doubt and a bit of confusion. So what I like to try to do, I try to stick to routines so that I don't spend too much time thinking about whether the process I'm going through will lead to the results. In some ways of thinking about it, it's kind of like being engaged in the process. That way you only think about that and not necessarily the outcome, if that makes sense.
Yeah, shall we go to Catonsville?
I can start. Hi guys, I'm Samantha. I'm part of the SADA program at CCBC Dental Hygiene. And what motivates me, I'm a first generation student and I kind of wanted more for myself. I was never pushed. It was just something I always wanted to do. And I do it for my daughter, myself. So that's what motivates me.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to share what motivates them? Anyone at Catonsville or virtually?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'd like to share. What motivates me is to get peace of mind. Unfortunately, peace of mind is not cheap or free, so I need to get more.
I can also go. So for those of you who don't know, I'm an environmental science major, so kind of the world right now and kind of where we're going is really motivating me to get through school because, plastic and stuff, let's stop.
Good go. I think I'm highly motivated because there's not a lot of Black males in my field, and I really want to be you know, a role model for those, you know, younger African American boys to have someone to look up to. But also, like, there's so many opportunities out there that, you know, not a lot of people are taking advantage of. So I really want to be in that place to share that information with others. So that's what keeps me going, knowing that I can be, you know, like a role model for somebody, and hopefully, you know, that can empower them to either in footsteps or find some type of motivation to do something that they're passionate about as well too. So that's what keeps me going.
I'll go. What motivates me is similar to Deborah's reason. My dad was a refugee and he was escaping a war in his country, and his family almost died doing so. So I kind of feel the way that he did when he was in America. So it definitely motivates me each time I am trying to go through a really difficult class.
Okay, I believe that's it for the case slide. Do we have any participants who would like to share? I don't know if Essex or Deborah are trying to talk right now.
Yes, Essex, Fatima, you can unmute yourself. I muted Essex when Kingsville was talking because there was a voice coming. I'm sorry. But Fatima, you can continue.
Yeah, okay, so thank you everyone for your responses. We'll move to the next part with Francis.
Oh, yeah, so we're just gonna go over some things we talked about in the last Puzzle Notes meeting, just to give some reminders about things related to setting up a club, which will be the next meeting.
Yeah. Well, before we do that, we just wanted to ask, what clubs are you guys representing? If you want to introduce yourself, or if you're in any club, can you tell us which clubs you're in? Shall we start here at Essex? Are you guys in any clubs? No. Okay. Shall we move to Catonsville?
Hi, I'm Rochelle, and I'm with SOTA, so Students of Occupational Therapy Assistants.
Thank you. Is there anyone else joining us?
I'm Emily, and I'm representing the business club.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm in Santa Clara, and
I am Gloria, representing the Honors Council or the Honors Society.
Is there anyone else? You can also, as Deborah said, you can send your clubs in the chat.
okay, hi, I'm Nicole Finley, an advocate for the Delta Alpha Pi Society for the Disabilities Society.
Thank you. Yeah, is that all? Anyone else would like to introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Samantha again. I'm part of the SADA program. It's the Student American Dental Hygienist Association, and here in Dundalk.
Amazing, thank you so much. Anyone else would like to introduce themselves?
I am Brian Hagan. I am the faculty advisor for the Business Club.
Amazing, thank you, Brian. Anyone else would like to join, introduce themselves, sorry?
Looks like Ms. Jackie is trying to introduce herself.
Okay, looks like we've got someone virtually. I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name correctly. Is it Tanis Bannerman, RN class president for December 2023 class? So thanks for sharing. Anyone else? No? Okay. So we can move on to the questions. As Francis said, those questions are based on the presentation that was held on the 24th of February.
So we'd like to start, well, I guess, at Catonsville. Can anyone answer, at least give some ideas about how someone can promote their club?
Do you want this from the SGA members or from the club members that are here? Sorry, can you repeat? Orgs that are here at Catonsville.
Yeah, so can anyone at Catonsville give some suggestions or ideas about how someone can promote their club?
So we actually had a meeting. Clubs. I think if based on the club connections, there should also be an email link to the YouTube video that has the recording meeting that we had that went into depth of what club members could do in the budget. What you could do for your club to kind of increase retention or to advertise it. But it was basically just talking primarily about having flyers that are appealing. Just to go with an overview, it's important to make sure that you are building those relationships with the people who are in the club, because we're all here for a reason. So we want to know that we're getting emotionally, mentally, academically, physically, etc. And we also talked about using your budget, use your budget to advertise, but it should be in the email, and if it's not in the email, then hopefully by next week that we'll be sending an email out to our club connections that will include the email of the link to the YouTube video on how you could advertise your club or kind of advance your club. So yeah.
Thank you, Seth, for that. So yeah, hopefully you guys have received an email with the YouTube presentation. We're just trying to see what you guys have learned from that presentation, just as a reminder, and that's why we're asking these questions. So Seth basically answered you can use flyers, logos, building relationships with students. And then the next question, if you would like to leave that.
Yeah, so are there any resources anyone's used recently to create a logo perhaps for your club?
So any of the clubs and orgs today, if you guys want to like unmute yourselves and answer the question, please feel free to do so. This presentation is more of a discussion, as Laura said. So yeah, just let us know if you've used any resources to create a logo. Anyone at Catonsville or virtually?
Okay, I'll the Catonsville. So I know that we had previously talked about Canva and whatnot. I'm not sure if anyone has any like physical print offices that they want to walk into to go do that, but I have been using Canva quite a lot, and you know, the SGA and some of the other, you know, roundtable type stuff that I'm doing, and it really is a great resource. You can do it for free. There is like a paid part if you want like some extra stuff, but it really does serve all of your intentions as long as, you know what you're looking for and don't want to do anything way super complicated. So Canva, very good option.
Perfect, thank you, Emma. Anyone like to add anything to that? No. Okay, third question.
So does anyone know, what the budget is, per academic year?
Does anyone like to answer it virtually or Catonsville?
I can answer that.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
My name is Hannah. I'm also with the student occupational therapy. I remember from last meeting, it was 2,000 per academic year.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's correct. When do the next one?
The fourth question is, how can you request additional budget? Would anyone like to answer that? So if you need an additional budget for your club, who can you ask for help?
I believe you will request it from Student Life.
Yes, you can request it from the SGA members, and we're also based at the student office at the end of the presentation. But yes, you can request it from SGA members if you do need additional budget. The next one, how many large events can you host per semester? Does anyone know the answer for that, or would anyone like to share their thoughts?
We can have 3 large events per year.
Well, you're very close to the correct answer. It's 2 events per academic, per semester. The next question is, how much money is permitted per executive board meeting? So what's your budget for executive board meeting? Anyone know or would like to take a guess? Any guesses? No?
Is it 200?
So it's actually $60 per executive board meeting. Yep. Devorah, do you want to lead the next week question?
Yes, I can continue. Thank you so much, Fatima. What can you use your budget on? It can be, is there a limit or any restriction on what you can spend your money on? Have you used any of your money before for anything? If so, please unmute or type in the chat. What have you used your budget on? We don't have any club that has used their budget yet. Okay, Catonsville.
I don't know any cards, but the SGA is currently doing kind of a team building exercise trip that we're spending some of our budget on. So that's one way to do it, you know? It's gonna be very fun and hopefully all of our members can attend, but that's something that we're working on right now.
Thank you so much, Emma. I know Business Club has used their money of times. Professor Hagan or Emily, would you guys like to share some of the events you used your budget on?
So we have
Go ahead,
used,
Emily. You're the one spending all the money.
So we have used the money for some of our weekly meetings. For like, I don't know if you can hear. It's an echo. but we have used our money for our weekly meetings to get like food and also for our events like Connect Fest, our painting event that we had to paint for Halloween. And yeah, that's what I can remember from the top of my head.
Yes, thank you so much, Emily. Any clubs and orgs that would like to share? So just a summary, you can use it for club advertising, decorations, foods, giveaways, guest speakers, performances, or any type of travel. You just have to give us a notice ahead of time so that we can be able to process everything for y'all if that's for a travel. And the next question is, how can you check your budget? Who do you contact to check how much money you have left for your clubs and orgs?
Wouldn't the student life give you that information?
Yes. Student life, you can specifically contact Dan, and he will be able to assist you with that. Thank you, Emily. The next question is, who do you contact if you need help in general? Any questions you might have about your clubs and orgs? Come on, that's not a tricky question. No, you contact either Dan or SGA students. Everybody is assigned with an SGA member to assist clubs and orgs. You can either contact SGA members, Dan, or Student Life in all the 3 campuses, Essex, Gainesville, and Dundalk. Thank you so much for those who participated.
Thank you, Deborah. Nicole has answered Dan and SGA Ambassador. Thank you for that. Dan also mentioned that the last day to utilize your budget is on Monday, 15th of May. That will be the last day of classes. So that's the last day that you can use your budget. Another thing, I just wanted to correct myself. How much money is permitted per executive board member? So it's $60 per member. So I just wanted to mention that before we move on. So the next thing we're gonna cover during this meeting is the survey feedback. So we've created a student survey feedback. Contains 7 questions, anonymous, and it was just a way to collect any positive or negative feedback that the students have about CCBC. And we are just going to present some of it. This survey was presented during Connect Fest at Dundalk, at Essex, Catonsville, and Owings Mill. So we tried to collect as many responses as we can. But yeah, we're just going to share with you the results here. So Francis, if you would like to start.
Yeah, so I'm going to start reading off the positives. A lot of people said that there were multiple free resources, one being academic advice, shuttle buses, tutoring, etc. The thing is kind of related is support of education in classes, probably in comparison to four-year school. Also related, grants, awards, and scholarships. And then we have quality of education professors, quality of education and professors, flexibility in classes and schedule, and then the academic and financial support.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we're just going to move on to the negatives. So yeah, the positives are quite straightforward. CCBC provides multiple free resources, affordable education, and it's quite flexible in terms of the schedule and classes. So I'm just going to cover some of the negative feedback that we have received. So some students have requested to have more lounges and quiet areas. So I've just been told that the student roundtable is actually looking into creating more safe spaces and more quiet areas. So CCBC is working on that, and hopefully you guys will have more quiet areas available for you. Some students have commented that they want more clubs and orgs. just wanted to ask you if anyone shares the same point of view. Does anyone want more clubs and orgs, or do you know where you can find the clubs and organizations on the CCBC website? Would anyone like to share their thoughts on this one? Anyone at Catonsville or virtually?
With the website. I'll fear this leader.
So, the website itself, there is like a link that takes you to, you know, some clubs and orgs and other enrichment type stuff. I think it's, I don't remember what tab exactly, but it's some student life related tab. But also, if you go to my CCBC and, you know, you go into, what's it called? There are tabs where you can connect to student life directly and get more specific information about some clubs and orgs, and, you know, as a lot of us are part of and running and whatnot, clubs and orgs, there's some more information in there for you.
Thank you, Emma. So exactly, you can just look at the CCBC website and it will have information on what clubs and orgs we have here at CCBC. If you do want to start a club or an organization that's not on the website and it's not available at CCBC, you can always contact an SGA member or Dan, and then we will help you with that if you need more information on it. So the next one is focus on mental health. So multiple students have requested to have mental health days or to focus more on mental health. And I just wanted to ask you guys for your input. What do you think about mental health in general at CCBC? Do you feel like you're supported? Do you feel like you know who to ask for help if you need it? Would anyone like to lead on that? Catonsville or virtually, we just want your input as students. What do you think of that in general? It can be positive or negative, or you can disagree with it if you do not, if you disagree, if you feel like, you know, CCBC provides you the support that you need, if you're, you know, suffering from any problem or issue. Yeah, so Dan has just sent the website where you can view your clubs and org. Any thoughts about mental health at CCBC?
I would say it's a serious accountability, but you need to understand that you won't be able to help a student unless they tell, you know, CCBC, or they tell an associate or something like that. So students have to understand that they have to talk, they have to speak up and make sure their voice is heard.
Essex, I believe you were muted again because of background noise, just so you know.
Thank you. So yeah, I was just saying, you are correct. We're not going to know if anyone's, you know, suffering from any problem unless they tell us. But I just wanted to let you know there are resources available. We've got something called Success Navigators. So they're at different campuses, Essex, Dundalk, and Catonsville. If you are suffering from any problem, you can just let them know and they can refer you to, you know, if you need any counseling, they can help you with that. There's also something called Together All websites where they can connect you to different peers and you can have one-to-one sessions with them. You know, if you need to like complain about anything or just talk to someone, that's available. But you know, as Deborah said, clubs and orgs can always host events about mental health. And maybe in the future that could be a project to work on where we present you with the different resources that you can access if you are suffering from any problem. Because I know it can be quite hard to ask for help. So hopefully we will, you know, come up with a list or a campaign and support you and help you with that. The fourth one is more events. So some students have asked for more fun events, and I also want to ask for your inputs as students. What do you think of this statement? Do you agree with it or disagree? Do you think we have enough events at CCBC or do you need more? Anyone can unmute and just let us know what do you think of that.
Go ahead. I think the word events is just so broad. What exactly do you mean? Do you mean just more activity events or more events for people who want something more focused on a certain standpoint? Because I don't know, I feel like there's just pretty good amount of events every week. So what exactly do you mean by more events?
Yeah.
So one of the limitations of the survey is that the student responses, not all of them are as specific as we'd like them to be. But what we can infer is that by events, they probably mean things related to, I think last week there was a movie showing for something related to Black History Month.
It was Black Panther.
Black Panther, okay, yeah. Probably something like that instead of like maybe like a club or like a club, after school club or something. Probably something that's purely like a little bit more, I wouldn't say random, but not directly related to school. I think at one point, I think in this room we had a sip and paint. Were you a part of that sip and paint?
The fall one, but not the spring one. I know the fall one was definitely in here. The spring one might have been in here as well.
Oh, okay.
I can try and see if I can find it.
Oh, okay. I think that would be an example of those kinds of events. But I guess this would be an opportunity to ask what kind of events would people like more of? Would it be more of the de-stressing, relaxing kind? Or maybe like a guest speaker coming in and talking about a topic of some sort. But yeah, we can't really say for sure what people mean by events, but we can of course ask for more clarity from you guys and see specifically what kind of events you'd like to see more of. So anyone can answer and give their input on what events they'd like to see.
Yeah.
Okay, now before you guys give your input, I just wanted to share. First thing I wanted to share was that the Student Programming Board has been organizing events and they organize campus activities, so with campus traditions, Baltimore and beyond, physical health, and something else. I forgot the rest. So there are 4 areas that they try to organize events. But what I wanted to mention was that all of us in this meeting are parts of clubs and orgs. We can organize our own events. So you don't just have to wait for somebody to organize an event for you. Right. You have the money. If you think of something interesting, you can go ahead and start planning and implementing it. So that's something I wanted to share.
Yeah. Thank you, Dima. That was quite helpful. Does anyone want to add any comments to this point? Do you guys know where you can find the events? So if you want to know what events are going on, what events are being hosted by the Student Life, you can always text CCBC on 71444. And we'll, at the end of the presentation, we'll also show you an event where you can receive a weekly Friday email that will let you know what events are going on. I think Deborah, do you want to take over this part?
Yes, Fatima, thank you so much. Professor Hagan, you had your hands up. Do you want to share what you had wanted to say?
Yeah,
or
my,
no?
my thought was along the same lines is, are we getting any kind of active definition of what they want from activities? Because we all know, those who are here, that there's a variety each week. So I think in future surveys, maybe give them an option of things that they could check off. What type of activity? Maybe they just want to show up and eat. I've been at meetings where that's all people want to do too. And you know what, that's a great service we can provide for some of our students. So I think just getting some clarity on that issue would be great.
Yes. Thank you so much, Professor Haken. Yeah, most of the, like Francis mentioned, most of them are really broad. I think, like you mentioned, what we could do is specify our question to receive a specific answers. And the next concern or negative feedback we had was more parkings. Again, it wasn't mentioned whether it's for a specific campus, so I'm guessing more parking spots for all campuses. I know for sure Essex has a good amount of parking spot, if I'm not mistaken. I don't drive, so I'm not sure. But I think this might be something we can bring up. Um, is the parking well at Cairnsville and Dundalk?
Hi, I'm at Catonsville. This is Rochelle.
Yes.
Yeah, no, parking is a little bit of a concern at Catonsville, especially for like the 10 a.m. classes around that time when everyone is pretty much on campus. It can be difficult to find a spot.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, you're correct, Michelle. I've noticed it as well. A couple of students would come late to class and speak saying we were late because we couldn't find a parking spot. So that might be one concern we need to address. Yes, Gainesville.
From like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. from Mondays to Thursdays. And I noticed that around like 9 to like 2, parking near the buildings for like classes is hard. There's a lot of parking spots in general, but to get a parking spot near the classes so that you don't have to walk really far is hard, especially like around, I think around like 9:20-ish or like around like 11 or to 12. Sometimes it will be so filled that you kind of just have to park in like different areas and then you got to walk all the way. So yeah, it's not really a concern of how many parking spots, but the fact that there's not a lot of parking spots that are close to the building, but I don't really, yeah, that's it.
Yes, you're correct. Thank you so much, Seth. It's more of the convenience of it being closer or further away from the buildings. I think Dundalk is a pretty small campus, so I don't think that might be a concern there, but Kingsville and Essex are really big campuses and spread out buildings, so that might be a problem in those two campuses. This might be something we would be able to bring on our next event with Dr. Kurtnitis and the other administration members. Yes, Gainesville, you have your hands up, or that was from previous?
I do my hand up. I will say, I haven't been on the Dundalk campus very often, but the few times that I have been on the Dundalk campus, it has been very hard to find parking as well. I think, I haven't been around the entire campus, so I don't know all of the different parking spots, but definitely like considering the size compared to the parking, like if I have a meeting and I get there right in time and I have to find the parking spot, it is extremely difficult to do. So I think this problem also applies to the Dundalk campus.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Fatima. I mean, Emma, thank you for that correction. Thank you so much. That will definitely be something we're going to bring up, and we were going to update everyone on what has been said after we discuss it. And the next one is orientation for new students. I know this is broad, but what the students meant by this was having more informations or navigations for new students to make them feel welcomed and to help them get used to the campus. So for this one, we have an organization with Student Life, which is the FYE mentors. We have a good amount of mentors within the Student Life, and all mentors have a specific amount of mentees that they assist. So they email them, they have virtual or in-person meetings held with the students, that is specifically to help students navigate any information they need within CCBC. So that is something that we already have or that already exists. If does anybody have any idea or suggestion with that, or do y'all think we should do something beyond that? Yes, Professor Hagan.
How are we as an institution and SGA specifically in student life reaching out to these freshman students who are coming in as first year students to make them aware of the FYE program? Are we just, are we making a definitive outreach to them, or what's the connection point?
So I'm not sure any of our first year experience coordinators are on the call, so I'll speak for them, but not for them. So I know one of the biggest things we do is we connect with every incoming student to very strongly encourage them to attend orientation, though it's not mandatory. And then each new first-time student is connected and given a mentor, one of our current students who can have that peer mentor relationship, hopefully. And then the third big thing we do to connect is to have a first-year experience mentor visit every ACDB class within the first couple weeks of the semester to connect with students in that class in a different way, because that's probably not going to be the person who that new first-year student is paired up with as a mentor. So there's a couple different ways that we try to have that outreach for every student. And then any student who indicates on their application to CCBC that they're interested in student life, student government, clubs and organizations, or civic engagement, we also do some special outreach to those folks to let them know some of the opportunities to engage. And that's only if they indicate that interest on their application to the college.
Okay, great, because that's one specific things I was curious of. Are we getting into the classrooms?
Yes. And then also in the first couple weeks of classes, Student Life also has information we send out to all the program chairs and deans to give to their instructors as well, and we're happy to visit any classroom, virtually or in person, depending on the modality of that class. First year students, returning students, any or all of the above. But Student Life is also happy in the first week of classes rather of each semester to kind of come in, let any of the students know in class kind of what opportunities we have, how to connect, and how to engage on the campus communities. Because right now I think it's we're kind of in a place where we are rebuilding towards some of the active student involvement and engagement in person that we were pre-pandemic. And so certainly a ton has changed since then, and we're working back our way up towards letting students know about all the different opportunities we have.
Great. Put me down for a visit in the fall.
We'll send you the email.
You always do.
Yeah. Hi, Dan. Along those lines that Brian was asking, has there been consideration? I know we have advocated for a lab that students could go to even before the semester begins to help them learn how to navigate, their account, their Brightspace, just any and everything that they would need. It'd be great if we really had ambassadors maybe on board for that, where a student could just be directed and they would get one-on-one help learning how to do that before they even start the semester or even that first week of term, so that they get off to a good start.
Yeah, and so I know that's something we cover at orientation, which is one of several things we cover. There's a lot of content there. And I know some students take this up in this. Our ambassador program also allows students to have that one-on-one tech consult type of thing, like the tools you need as a student. So I know we've in the past when students have reached out, and granted there probably could be more of it, to connect students directly with our student life ambassadors to go over some of those tech questions. So the things that as a student you learn how to get to Brightspace, you learn how to get to My CCBC, But as a new student, that doesn't come naturally, maybe, right? You don't know that there's this great resource online. And so maybe it's something we can do to expand that and extend that, but that certainly is something that's available. And please, if you know students that would benefit from something like that, Jackie or anyone else, like, we're definitely happy to help connect students for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Professor Hagan and Professor Simek. Yes, okay. Thank you for those questions, and thank you so much, Dan, for answering the questions very clearly. Yes, another thing Dumont mentioned was ACDV class is specifically for newer students to help them for those specific things. They also request for FYE mentors to visit and speak on all the orientations that Dan had mentioned. But yes, thank you so much. And another thing we received was more healthier food options. This comment, we have received it a couple of times before, but healthier food, I think we have some options for healthier food within our with the Sodexo, with our cafeterias, but is there a specific comments towards that you guys can mention or allude? What kind of healthier option foods? We know we have the harvest where they would share vegetables and stuff, but beyond that, is there any specific comment or an idea?
It is indeed a lot of vegan and vegetarian, and not only on the Kaysville campus, but on every CCBC campus. And I feel that we need to open up more, food opportunities, not food opportunities, more food options, for vegetarians and vegans, so they can eat vegetables and things that aren't animal-based, things of that nature.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for that feedback.
I also wanted to share that Sodexo reached out to me yesterday. Sodexo is the company that manages the food on all the campuses here at CCBC. And they're interested in doing a focus group with CCBC students, student leaders, faculty and staff, anyone that's interested, to get more of that direct feedback of what you want, what you don't want, as they're going for the long-term planning. Because I mean, like, obviously they can look at sales and figure out what sells and what doesn't sell, but having those direct feedback is going to be really important. So in the next couple of weeks, you'll see some communication either from the SGA leaders here or from me or from one of my colleagues in student life, inviting you to come join and give some feedback to Sodexo, so that we can hopefully work on some of that. Those fresh food items, I think those are healthy food items, or the vegan food items like you mentioned, any of those concerns, because their goal is to meet your needs and your wants, and what that looks like is something that needs to be heard. So thank you in advance for giving some feedback when that comes out. The big thing that's also going to be happening at Catonsville starting in summer 2025 is that the cafe in this building we have here is going to be under construction. And so they're going to completely gut and renovate the cafe over here, which will change a lot what the food options could be over here. So I know a lot of you might not be here after the summer of 2025, but just like the students before you, if you're able to give some feedback towards what that would look like, that'll help the students coming after you to have that experience that you're hoping to have too. But we can do some stuff in the short term, but that's a long-term one as well.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much, Dan. I think that is the answer we were looking for, and I believe that is a great solution. Thank you so much, Dan. And the next thing we have is better navigation tools. I think that does go along with the orientation for new students. I think it's better, the navigation tools in terms of accessing Brightspace, And I'm gonna guess, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess and say, navigating campuses as well. So we know that CCBC is working on creating a better navigation tools. But in terms of accessing Brightspace, is there any specific things that is hard to access or to navigate? Or is it hard to reach out to somebody and ask for assistance?
I'll say on my end, I know from the instructor side, we still get lots of comments about students trying to figure out Brightspace. And I go over it the first week of class. This is email, but I know there are still lots of questions from students on how to use it. So I don't know if they're getting into it as much in the ACVD program as they need to be. I also know one of the problems of it is each instructor sets it up a little bit differently and posts things a little differently. So bouncing from class to class, and it's something we've talked about institutionally among instructors, is trying to more standardize things, at least in my department, business studies.
Yes, thank you so much, Professor. Those were really great points. And I think in addition, not all students take ACDV their first semester. ACDV does really go through it. I took the class and I think it was helpful on my end, but not all the students take ACDV on their first semester. So that might be another yes, Gainesville.
Just for anyone who might be still trying to learn how to navigate Brightspace, I personally like Brightspace. I've never been here long enough to experience Blackboard, but there's also like a video. There's a link to a video in front when you get to the homepage of Brightspace on how to navigate the basic features like submitting something. I haven't seen the video, but I know there is a video. But also, I also think it's just something you kind of just learn as you go through it. Maybe they could improve on the video and add more things to the video, but I haven't seen the video, so I can't really say much about that. But I do know that there are resources in Brightspace as to how you can use it. And there is also ways where you can connect with people if you do have questions. There's always that little icon where you can connect with someone, or if you're having some technical difficulties, you can connect with someone who can help you with that. But other than that, yeah.
That's
yes.
Yeah, okay, after you. Adding to what Seth said, there's an online readiness certificate you can take on Brightspace. Yeah, it's gonna help you understand, or you're gonna practice how to submit assignments, just general how to use Brightspace. And you submit like discussions, assignments, even, I think they even teach you how to use, what are they calling that stuff again? Lockdown browser, I think they do that too. Yeah. So you can, I'm gonna put a PDF in the chat. It'll give you the instruction on how to get that online readiness certification. You can also give your students, for those who are professors here, to just do the certificate to show you that they completed the certificate. Prepare them for Brightspace again.
And kind of just to like add on to what everybody's saying, I've personally kind of created a PowerPoint slide that I've kind of went over in either the MSSI, some of my honors classes that I took last year. It doesn't cover Brightspace, but like I kind of went over like the professional ethics of utilizing your student email. I think it's very important that you know how to utilize that and access it as well. But if it's something that's very dire, I think I could add on some more Brightspace experiences that students want to get involved in with, and because I feel like most students learn better if it's more of a peer-to-peer situation rather than having to ask for help. And that's something that I've seen during my time here at CCBC, that not a lot of students are comfortable reaching out for that type of help, but rather in a nice friendly peer-to-peer environment, students are more willing to learn or participate in a situation such as that. So if that's something that anybody's interested in, I'd be more than willing to share the PowerPoint slide as well as add to it as well if there's anything else that needs to be taught. So that's my part of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone for the input, and thank you, Bernard, for that PowerPoint. Thank you. And to one last thing is evaluate quality of teachers. I think that's beyond SGA members. I don't think that is something on our behalf to work on evaluating professors. And I'm not pretty sure on the specific concern within that. I'm not sure if there was a specific professor that made a student feel some type of way, or if it's in general to see how professors are with students. Is there any comment towards this, SGA members?
We have a non-SGA member.
Yes.
Yes, I say every professor at CCBC, I feel that they're working well. I have no problems with any of my professors in the past or as of right now. This is my second semester, and I enjoy going to class, and that is not only because of the content that I'm learning, but as well as the professors that are teaching the content. And I do appreciate that very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I think I can relate to that too. Professors really make a difference in the learning, because if the professor is not really willing to assist or does not have a really great communication skills with the students, that does really have a great impact. But we really have a lot of supportive and great professors at CCBC, and we're really thankful for that. Thank you, Bernard, for the heads up. It is now 2:30. Can you go to the next slide, Fatima?
Right, so just for some reminders, well, not really reminders, but we're mentioning some future events that SGA is going to have. As mentioned earlier, we're going to be meeting with Dr. Unitas, the president of CCBC, and we're going to have somewhat of a informal conversation with her about some of the issues that students have presented to us, and that things that they both like about CCBC and also think that we can improve on. And then we have our next Clubs and Orgs meeting next month on April the 21st.
We just wanted to show you the clubs connection here. They've got all our names and which clubs and orgs we're responsible for, along with our emails. I'm aware there isn't enough time, but the presentation will be available after the session ends, so you can note down our names and which clubs we're covering. So that's all.
Sorry, Fatima. Is it only on my end or virtual people? We can't see the slides. We can see it now. Yes, thank you.
Sorry. I was saying the SGA members, so you can see our names and which clubs we're covering and our emails. If you need extra help or support, you can also contact Dan, and he's the assistant director of the Student Life. He's based at Catonsville, and that's also his email. There's also the Student Life office email, if again you have any questions. And at the end, if you want more updates from us, you can text CCBC on 71444. You can also open this event if you want to get weekly Friday emails, and that will, you'll basically receive an email with all the events every Friday, and you can also email the Student Live if you again have any questions or concerns. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share or any questions before we end our session today?
I had a couple of questions. I just needed clarification.
Yeah.
So earlier in the meeting, it was said that the question was how much money is permitted per executive board meeting. Is it 60 per meeting or 60 per board member?
So, yeah, sorry, that was my mistake. I corrected myself. So it's $60 per board member.
Okay. And then my next question was the last day that we can use the budget. Did you say that was May 15th?
Yes, it will be Monday, May 15th, the last day of classes. Again, this is in the chat, and you'll be able to access it after the meeting.
Okay,
And
thank you.
to clarify what we said earlier, the $60 if like you're having 4 people get together for an exec board meeting and you want to order some pizzas, we can't do like filet mignon and lobster, but we can get you like something to eat for your exec board meeting. So it's $60 for a meeting. Not $60 per person, because that is some nice filet mignon and lobster and whatever you want, and that's just not a budget reality, but we can definitely get you something to eat. So 60 a meeting, not per person.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? No? Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We appreciate you, and hopefully this meeting was useful. The presentation will be available here and the recording as well if you want to access it later. So yeah, thank you everyone. Have a great weekend. And remember, our next meeting is going to be on the 21st of April. Yeah, thank you everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a nice day.
maybe we could incorporate in the HCDV